Hi, my name is Paul Skeith, and I'm the managing partner of Richards, Rodriguez and Skeith. And I'm reaching out to you today because we've had a lot of questions from clients about businesses' response to the COVID-19 pandemic. A couple things to think about. One is, what are you doing with employees in the workplace? Another is, what are you doing with vendors and customers? And then the last thing I'll talk about today is, what are you doing as a business owner now that you might be at home, the initial crisis passed, and you're trying to figure out how to make effective use of your time. So for employees, the first thing to do is to check and make sure that you have a work from home policy in place that makes sense. So I'm working from home. All of our lawyers and staff are working from home now. But do you have a policy in place? Have you thought about what communications tools are you requiring employees to use who are working from home? What other ways are you going to systematically check in with them? And what policies and procedures do you want to have in place to make sure that employees and their managers are working together in a manner that makes business continue to go on? The other piece of that is, if you still have a office or a workplace or a factory, make sure that you are following Center for Disease Control and OSHA guidelines for making sure that there's a safe workplace, following sanitation procedures, hand washing and sanitation procedures, and even social distancing as far as that's possible within the workplace itself. So turning to vendors and customers, a lot of us might have heard on the news about force majeure clauses related to South by Southwest being canceled in Austin. So all a force majeure clause is a clause in your contract that says, in case of a natural disaster or a government shutdown, or as we're finding out now, perhaps even in a pandemic situation, the person who is obligated to perform a service under a contract is excused from doing so. So I would take a close look at your most important contracts and figure out if there's a force majeure clause there, and if people have the ability, whether it's you or whether it's a vendor or whether it's a customer, if they have the ability to temporarily or permanently walk out of the contract. That's going to be an important thing to understand. Even if there isn't a force majeure clause, it's possible that a court might excuse performance under a contract given these extraordinary circumstances. You're going to want to talk to an attorney about that if you have specific questions. The last thing I would just recommend to you, if you're a business owner and you're looking at this and you've gotten through the initial running around and making sure everybody is at home and everybody is starting to work, if you have some time in your hands and you're thinking about what is it that I can do, what I would suggest is really just focusing on your business and looking at those things that we just never get around to. Looking at contracts, seeing if they make sense, looking at equity in the structure of the business, seeing if it makes sense, looking through those things that you just never have time to look at, and working on that now that you have the time and focus to do it. It's kind of making some lemonade out of the lemons that we're dealt with. But the point is to look at these things and to get ready so that when the on button gets pushed on your business a few weeks from now, you'll be ready to go and you'll be ready to hit the ground running. Thanks so much. And if you have questions about any of this, please contact any of our lawyers here at Richards, Rodriguez and Skeith. Be safe, be well, and looking forward to talking to you soon.